How we doing, ladies and gentlemen, over on the YouTube side of things? My name is Wolf, and welcome to my top 3 melee league starters for Ultimatum League. Now, I have one character here that hasn't been tested, and I have 2 characters that I have actually already played, and that worked extremely well during the time that I played them. There should be links to those gameplay videos either in the description, or you can just find them on the channel by searching the name of the character. And you can find gameplay for them that way. But these are all characters centered around the Ultimatum League, which is basically Ritual or like Breach 7.0. So you have a big circle where stuff just spawns infinitely, and the difficulty can go up and up and up. And as a result, you want to kind of build around as much AoE as humanly possible. So that's what these characters are based on doing. The first one I have for you is my Bleed EQ Berserker. Now this character does a shit ton of damage, even more so because the weapon itself can't actually be calculated correctly. So this character I have played, and there is gameplay of it on the channel. You can find a build progression for it, and it does work. I mean, I optimized it around like single target and bossing, but you can quite easily change a couple things around to aim for more AoE. You can anoint yourself an AoE node if you want to. You can get Amplify up there. You can get more AoE through two-handed nodes and all that sort of stuff. And we are using Berserker for as much damage as possible, utilizing Warbringer with the new exerted stuff with Earthquake, and you can use the, there's a Warcry. It gives you even more damage on exerted attacks as well, and use those in combination to just absolutely shit on everything. So, because we're scaling the Aftershock, we are doing a ton of bleed damage, plus we also have access to Vol Earthquake for even more AoE and just consistent damage. You pop Vol Earthquake and you run in a circle, and pretty much all the trash will die quite easily. So I was able to use that to speed clear like Blood Aqueducts when I was early leveling, or in early gear, or just certain maps altogether. I would just pop Vol EQ and just run in a straight line. So, all of those options work just fine. Character uses res tech, so you don't have to worry about like gearing hit chance or anything like that. As well as call to arms, so your war cries are instant. You don't have to worry about any animation bullshit or any of the animation canceling sort of stuff. So, gear-wise, character is pretty simple all in all. The only thing you're going to really have to work for is a Warlord's two-handed axe. If you're in Trade League, just buy one. Alternatively, just keep farming over and over and over. Set up your Atlas for Warlord stuff, and you can get a bunch of bleed and damage over time multiplier things on weapons. Use the Bleed Fossil from Delve as well to get the 60% chance for bleeding inflicted with this weapon to deal 100% more damage. That is not calculatable by the math, but it would make the damage pretty fucking insane. There's also an opening for a Cluster Jewel down here if you want to mess around with that. I believe I was going to do some Warcry stuff with that, or some extra bleed or two-handed nodes. In the skills, we're using Vol EQ with as much physical damage stuff as possible. You can put in Pulverize and increased AoE if you want to take that route for the Ultimatum stuff. This character is, of course, set up for single target right now. But if you want to optimize around doing Ultimatum, you can put in Pulverize, you can put in AoE, you can add extra AoE, you can sit in Sand Stance. There's a bunch of things you can do with this character. We've got vulnerability on a Leap Slam for bonus damage with Fortify here. You can get vulnerability on gloves too if you're lucky enough, or you're playing the character for long enough, but this is just a nice little setup I run. Then Flesh and Stone with all of our auras. Pride is going to be very good for Ultimatum because there's going to be enemies around you 24/7, so that's going to be very, very useful. Blood Rage for Frenzy Charges. Cast when Stone Golem to mitigate the Blood Rage and give you extra life regen. Steel Skin passively, and then whatever Warcry you want. In this case, I have Enduring Cry, but you could also put on whatever the other exerts are. I don't remember all their names, but they will give you a shit ton of damage and a shit ton of single target. Leveling tree-wise, grab yourself Resolute Technique. Make sure you get Rite of Ruin as fast as possible, so you can get Cannot Be Stunned while you have at least 25 Rage. Warbringer is an exceptional leveling node as well. There's also another node somewhere in here. Escalation here, which gives you 10% life when you use a Warcry. Make sure to grab that. It's not slotted into this character because I tweaked it when I was playing it to pick this up. It was definitely worth it, and I would recommend. So yeah, that is going to be my Bleed EQ Berserker. The next character I have for you is my Ground Slam Berserker, which I crafted on stream today. Now, this character is not going to have the highest total DPS, but that's because we are optimizing around one big slam. That is a Vol Ground Slam. Now, in the upcoming patch, they have reworked, well, updated Vol skills. I don't remember exactly how, because imagine paying attention to the content. It'd be pretty useful. But they're optimizing Vol skills so you can get, like, extra souls and that sort of stuff, which means we'll be able to use more Vol Ground Slams. Now, my damage is about 1,000,000 per slam, depending on my actual damage and whatnot, because this is how I make my characters for SSF style sort of stuff. I threw in a Aziri's Disfavor. This weapon is actually like trash now because you can make stupider weapons in Harvest or just with normal crafts and whatnot. So this is just sort of a template piece, really. And then from there we have corrupted Vul on hit gloves. And then we have a necklace with anoint on it, and that's pretty much the character. You can add in whatever you want. You can get flasks that give you more damage. You can get gear that gives you more damage. You can optimize for survivability. You can go for an Elder chest piece with life on kill and just never die. That's what I'd recommend for Ultimatum stuff. Make the character extremely stupid good. You just press Ground Slam and everything dies. Double rapid expansions in solo self-found is going to be a little bit harder to do. You'll get one at least from the quest, and then you'll have to either find or run a second character to Act 5. Alternatively, you just buy it in Trade League. That's also an option. Or just wait for it to drop. I found most of them drop like once a league, if not more. So, yeah. Skill tree wise, start off by grabbing Resolute Technique, then you want to grab Slaughter for Onslaught on Kill, make you level faster, and just go faster in general. Grab Rapid Expansion, so you can put the, grab the Jewel slot here, so you can put the Rapid Expansion in there. And then we want to just grab as much damage as we can. We got damage here, damage and AoE here, damage here, life, rage here, damage here, and AoE while in Sand Stance. This is our leech node to make our mana not be a problem. Then we get rage here, and we get HP here. Now this character has options for if you want to go more HP, if you want to go for more damage. You can remove some of the nodes I've put in here and quite easily take more life or more defenses or whatever you want. Also, like I said, resistances and HP are low because I have 0 gear on. I have 3,000 health with no gear, so if I put gear on, it'd be 5.5k-ish. So, and then from there you can add in whatever defensive layers you want through like flasks or other sorts of stuff. Because I do recommend playing most characters or most like builds like this as a template, so you can tweak it and change it to your own wants and needs, because of course I'm not going to be playing your character, you're going to be playing your character, so you'll get whatever you get dropped, and you have to work within the boundaries of that. Also, don't worry about the attribute requirements, because you can get them on gear quite easily. Just get a necklace that uses the stat you need, or an onyx necklace, and you'll probably end up getting excess dexterity or intelligence on your gear somewhere, because I found when playing solo self-found, I'll have pieces with just like plus dex, plus int, plus strength, pretty much everywhere. So don't worry too much about those stat requirements there. AoE wise, you want to go for AoE in the Ground Slam plus Pulverize. That should give you a very large amount of AoE. Keep your Vol War Chief down whenever you're doing ultimatums, just to get as much damage as possible, and pretty much just pop off from there. Blood Rage, and you can turn Berserk on as well. If you're getting to like the last point of ultimatum, you think you're gonna die, you just tap Berserk and just blast everything with a nice 1,000,000 damage Vol Ground Slam. So yeah, that is that character. I have played a rendition of it before, and I did shit on pretty much everything, but I played it a long time ago, like 10 patches ago, but it was still good back then, and it's going to be even better now with the upgraded Berserker stuff. And to round us out, we are going to go for my Shockwave Totem Chieftain. Now I have played this character. It was a little bit ago, but it worked exceptionally well. Character had no issues whatsoever. Survived relatively easy, no problems. And the reason I think totems will actually be really good for Ultimatum is because it's one big circle where stuff keeps spawning. Which means if you are If you're in the Ultimatum, you can just drop all your totems and stuff will just passively die over and over and over again as it spawns. So you can just keep your totems set up in like a triangle and you shouldn't have much issue. Now this is set up for, I believe, single target optimization wise, but you can switch this to AoE quite easily by putting in AoE in your totem setup rather than concentrated effect. I'm also using 5 link here because this is what I had at the time on the character. So you can obviously get a 6 link, add more to this. This damage is per totem, and the damage can go a lot higher depending on what sort of gear you get. This is the exact character that I played in the league, and I was still working on it at the time. So make sure to get yourself a Soul Mantle for +1 totems. Get yourself a Shaper's Shield as well for +1 totems. And then you can also get Ancestral Bond for another +1 totems, making it so you can have 4 totems in total. And you can then cover the whole Ultimatum area. Add a bunch of AoE on top of that through AoE on the totems, AoE in extra nodes, you know, and the extra AoE there, the extra AoE here. You can anoint even more AoE, spell AoE somewhere, I presume. And yeah, I mean, all in all, characters should work pretty reasonably, I'll be entirely honest with you. And don't worry too much about like the conversion thing. All it wants me to do is just update that. Simple enough. Also, there's another thing you can do if you need more survivability. There is the Tukahama's War Herald, which is 2% of your damage dealt by your totems is leached to you as life. Now, we already have Fire Leech, which is very, very good for us. But if you need even more leech, you can take Tukahama's War Herald if you're going to try and do insanely, insanely high ultimatums. You can optimize for that instead. So yeah, that is going to be the league starters. Do let me know if you're going to play any of these fellas. I have tried this one and the other bleed character, both of which worked well. I played a rendition of this one, also worked exceptionally well. So, do let me know if you are going to start these, and if you do, come back to the video and let me know how it worked out for you, because I do like to see what sort of builds work and what ones I can keep recommending to people as time goes on, because I don't want to give people builds that don't work or that brick their league start or what have you, because I've been on the side of that where I play one of my own builds and it doesn't work, and then I don't feel like playing anymore because I don't want to re-level a character. So I don't want to do that to people, so let me know if you do decide to play any of these, and if they work for you. If they don't work, feel free to hop into my stream during league start and send me your path of building, and I will try my best to fix it for you. The link to my Twitch should be in the description, and that is going to be all from me. Thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, take care, gentlemen.